Something very cool was brought to my attention this month. I've been using Micro Four Thirds cameras for 5 whole years, and that means I've been on YouTube for 5 whole years, and I thought I would go through my monstrous collection of lenses for your viewing pleasure. This mega review is going to be into 4 categories. The stuff I use all the time and love, weird experimental lenses, stuff I don't use and should probably sell, and stuff that I don't use enough and should definitely use more. Stuff I use all the time. My twin set of Lumix lenses, my 12-35 and my 35-100 f2.8. They have been my staple lenses for a very, very long time, and I love them both very much. Perhaps the most impressive of the two is the 35-100 because it's so small and has internal focusing, so it's perfect for intimate landscapes, perfect for street photography where you can get long focal lengths but also be a little bit incognito as well. And my 12-35, a little bit of bragging rights, I initially bought this off display which was attached to a GH3 on clearance, and I paid £350 for the camera and the lens. Like, this lens on its own goes for way more than that. And I managed to sell the GH3 for a couple of £100, and I think in the end the 12-35 ended up costing me about £50. So keep an eye out for them bargains, and a little bit of a brag for you. Sorry. No surprise if you've been around here for a little while, my Lumix Leica 25mm f1.4. It is beautiful, it's optically sound, it's very, very good in low light, it's very flattering, it's very sharp, it's light, it's lovely, have I said that already? It's great, it's one of my favourite lenses for everything. Everyone loves a 25mm. You know, your nifty 50, it's good for all kinds of stuff. Always worth investing in a good nifty 50 in my opinion. And the new kid on the block, just because I got it with the GH6, and when I got the lone GH6 from Lumix, the pre-production one, this was the lens that was on it. It was the 12-60 f2.8 to f4. Lumix Leica. I was so impressed with that. You know, you've got your dual stabilization. I think that one is going to be used a heck of a lot more going forward, and I love it so much already. Also, use your lens hoods, kids, because my 12-35, I've dinted the front and it won't take filters anymore, so for vlogging and things, well, video in general outside, I can't put NDs on it. So having the 12-60 now takes filters, and I can stop cranking my shutter like a basic bitch. Also, once I've used the 12-60 a bit more, would you be interested in a comparison video between that and the 12-35? Let me know in the comments. Let's move on to weird experimental stuff. I love me an experimental lens. I love a lens that falls into the category of it's kind of affordable and you might only use it once in a blue moon, but it sparks your creativity and gives you a unique look. So here are some of those lenses that I own. I own quite a few. I have the Maker 3.5mm crazy fisheye, fully circular, crazy, very niche look. It's really good fun to play with. The Olympus 15mm body cap lens. This is pants, but it's definitely the best body cap I've ever taken a photograph with, so. The good thing is if you stick it on a G100 or something like that, it properly makes your camera pocketable. It turns it into like a compact, basically. It's really cool. I've done full reviews on some of these lenses as well, so check the description. I'll put links to all of the companion reviews to any of these lenses if you want to hear more about them individually. My Pentax 110 lenses, my little tiny adaptable baby lenses. I've had these for a number of years and I love them. I've done two full reviews on them, so check that out. And perhaps my favourite experimental lens, if you can call it that, is my 7 Artisans 7.5mm f2.8 fisheye. Great fun as a standard fisheye, great for walking about with, fast, affordable, very affordable, and also surprisingly good for astrophotography. I originally had the Olympus 8mm f1. Whatever it was, you know, the pro lens. It was about £800, and it was gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, that lens, but I just don't use fisheye enough to justify it. So I ended up selling that lens and I had a chunk of change even after I bought the 7 Artisans lens. So if you like fisheye photography but don't want to spend too much because you're only dabbling in it, the 7 Artisans is fantastic. And I do think there's a Mark II out now, so I might have to check that out myself. Let's move on to stuff I don't use very much and should probably sell at this point. First of all, the pancake? Pancake. The Pancake stock lens, the 12-32. I got this originally with my GX85, but it is also the stock lens that comes with the G100. And you know what? It's blooming great. It's plasticky, which isn't a great thing, but it's very light. It's compact, obviously, because it's pancakey, or pancakey. And given the look of it, you'd think it would be absolutely pants, but some of the images I've got out of this over my time with it have been superb. So why am I on about selling it? Well, I now own two very expensive stock lenses, and I would be stupid if I picked up this lens over the Lumix Leica 12-60. Something's got to give, and it's this. And if I want something portable, I have a plethora of prime lenses to use that are very portable, or of course that body cap lens. The Meika 25mm f2.0. I was one of those people that got it dead early on, before it was even out, and I haven't seen very much of it since. I feel like I might be the only person in the world who owns this lens. It's huge, it's heavy, it's weird. It's optically very good, but there are other 25mm available that don't weigh like dark matter. Also the Meika 35mm f1.4. Again, a blooming great manual focus lens, a great walkabout lens, very fun to use, very fast obviously, but I do have sort of autofocus native equivalent lenses that are probably as good or better, and having autofocus when you're out and about in sort of street photography scenario can be very, very handy because you'll capture things quicker with it obviously than if you're manual focusing. So maybe it's time to let that one go too. And shock, scandal, the Olympus 9-18mm lens. Now this lens is one of my all-time favourite lenses. It's very portable, it's very, very, very sharp, like super sharp, and it's so much more affordable than the other wide-angle lenses in the Micro Four Thirds system. I got it second-hand off eBay. Eventually the long end started just not working. Like if I put it in anything other than 9mm, it would hunt. RIP my Olympus 9-18mm. Just on the trail now, it's like, no, it's dead. What a beautiful little lens. I'm gonna have to buy it again. Some days I put it on and it works, and some days it gives me an error where I have to turn the whole camera off and start again. It's time to let that one go, and I don't think I'm gonna sell it because obviously it's broken. The issue is, do I go for the Lumix Leica 8-18, which I reviewed recently? It was one of the lenses that I got with my pre-production GH6 to test out. It's not one that I actually own, which is superb but heavy. Or do I just get the Olympus 9-18 again now they've come down in price a little bit? Decisions, let me know what you think below. And next we have stuff I don't use but really blooming should. I think if we're all honest with ourselves, we all have lenses like this. First on this list, because it's probably the most expensive lens I've bought recently, is my Lumix Leica 100-400. I adore this lens. I've done a full review on it. I'm going to take it out to more bird hide days this year. It is superb. I originally bought it because I became very good friends with a wildlife photographer named Rachel Sinclair, and we shot a full wildlife course together. She is so talented, and we were contemplating going to Kenya together because she ran safaris in Kenya as well as worked in the UK, and then the you know what happened, and yeah, that sort of fell through, unfortunately. But I don't regret buying the lens for 1 second because it's blooming amazing. I just need to find excuses to use it more. Check out the wildlife course if you're into wildlife photography. She is so talented. Like, she made me fall in love with wildlife photography just by being her camera woman. My Meika Cine lenses, my 12 and 16mm. I love both of these. They are super high quality. They are absolutely gorgeous, but I tend to be more of a hybrid shooter, so I don't use dedicated cine lenses very often. The Olympus 60mm f2.8 macro, love it. Just don't shoot macro as much as I should. Told myself when I was buying it, you know, I'll use it for the detail shots in a wedding, I'll use it for this, I'll use it for that, I'll use it for portraiture. It would be good for portraiture, to be honest, but no, I've not. I've just not used it as much as I should, so. And then, ironically, the lens I'm shooting on right the hell now, the Olympus 17mm f1.8. I usually shoot 25mm in here, but I thought I'd change it up and show at least an inch more of my incredibly tiny office. I love the Olympus 17mm. It's the stock lens I got with the Pen F back in the day. It's another one that I've dinted and won't take filters anymore. use your lens hoods, kids. I love the tactile nature of the focus ring. I love that it's compact. It's great on the G100. It's great for video. I just don't use it as much as I should. The companion lens to that one is the Olympus 45mm f1.8. Brilliant, gorgeous, minuscule little lens. Minuscule. And great for portraiture, great for walking about, very incognito. Gorgeous lens, need to use it more. Then I have my Canon FD lenses and some other adapted lenses. One of my favourite things about the Micro Four Thirds system is that you can adapt all of different kinds of lenses and you can really experiment with the look of your style. So the FD lenses are a great option if you want to get into adapted lenses. My crazy amount of lenses that I currently own in the Micro Four Thirds system, that's not including like the 9 or whatever I have for my S5, I clearly have issues. Let me know your own sort of system. Which lenses do you have that you should use more? And is there anything that you would recommend that I buy next? If there's any lenses out there that I don't currently already own. Thank you very much for watching and choose one of the videos, all of the lovely different reviews that I've done tons of them, and also thank you for sticking with me for 5 whole years on this beautiful channel. May there be many, many more years to come.